Niners win. Niners win. It's much easier to wake up even on a cold 1st of December. Welcome to December. Brought in the jacket. It's that time of year. The Niners were cold yesterday or hot. Either way, let's go.
I mean, temperature need not apply to Victory Monday. Am I right? This is a good place for the 49ers to be. Welcome, everyone. Like Larry said, here it is, December 1st. We are in the final month of 2025. We are in the crunch time of this season. We're in one of the most welcome, happy to see you. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Bye weeks that the 49ers have ever had. Larry, I can't think of a season where they needed this bye week to come right up and greet them right now for the stretch. Tennessee, Indianapolis, Chicago, Seattle. I mean, it is set up to be a storybook finish for the San Francisco 49ers, who have kept themselves alive with one of their best overall team efforts in Cleveland. Yes, the Browns suck. But I had a lot of people telling me that they were going to lose to this bad Cleveland team, that they weren't going to go in and win this game because, that's how things just are going for the 49ers. It's been a damn good season for the 49ers, and I think it's time people start realizing it, and I hope they're enjoying it. Hell of a win yesterday in Cleveland, all around. Really, one of the best, most complete wins of the year. And Larry, a level of defense that I didn't think we were going to see. A level of defense I didn't think we were going to see in a single game against a single opponent. We're starting to see it. It's coming together, even with all the dings and nicks in the armor. Not bad, man. Not bad.
Here's how we're feeling this morning. Brock's doing the Dougie, and he supposedly was going to wait for his teammates to all do it with him, but he didn't wait for him, and he just did it without him.
Whenever you can bust out a dance move that was popular about 12 years ago, you do it. You do it. Go ahead.
What's next? The Macarena?
I believe the appropriate meme is the little kid looking in his locker and just says, "Stunt on them hoes." Stunt on them hoes. Brock Purdy.
Wow.
Who'd have thunk it, Larry? Who would have thunk it? Look, can we just start with this offensive line? You know, you look at some of these running numbers. They're not impressive. This was not a good day for the 49ers rushing attack at all. One of their worst of the season, one of the worst per carry averages we've seen of Christian McCaffrey's entire year, but still deceptively effective. And the fact that it wasn't a party in the backfield for Myles Garrett and company on Brock Purdy all afternoon, really good day for the offensive line. It's not like Trent Williams had an easy one either. Myles Garrett filled his day with more holy shit football than maybe any other day of Trent's Hall of Fame career. Myles put it on him. Every move in the book he pulled out to get around, and he did get around him a few times, but overall, a really good day for the 49ers offensive line, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know, it's funny. Nick Wagner has this one. He says, on the flip side, the Browns pressured Brock Purdy on 58% of his dropbacks, their highest pressure rate in a game in the past 3 seasons. It's only time Purdy has been pressured on more than half of. It's the only time that Purdy's been pressured on more than half of his dropbacks. Myles Garrett accounted for 6 of those, though the Browns only got Purdy for 1 sack. His mobility was an important factor.
Sure was.
Repeatedly. I would say, if you go back and look at this game, there were some things in this game that were really underrated. One of them was Brock Purdy threw it away 7 times. And we talked about this, Damon. You and I talked about this in our last show. I think I brought up Tom Brady, how Tom Brady said in an interview, and I think it was you. I'm not. It might have been a different stream, but I could have swore. I know Tom Brady said in an interview, "Hey, you know what? I won a lot more at the end of my career than I did early in my career because I stopped. I wasn't just thinking make a play, make a play, make a play. I was thinking don't make a negative play. You know what I mean? You know, right. Minimize the negative plays. And Brock Purdy is so wired to compete, and make a play. And that's the way he's wired. But in this game, Shanahan, I think, and I don't know if it was Kubiak, Shanahan, if it was, the quarterback coach. I don't know. But somebody, I felt like, just based on the way Brock played in this game, said to him, hey, look, there are going to be a bunch of plays in this game where they're just going to blow them up defensively. And let's not lose the game on those plays. Let's throw it away and go to the next down. And to me, that's real growth. So, I thought that was huge. And then also, the thing that was really strange about this game was that, and I really felt strongly about this, that the team that ran the ball better, ran the ball more efficiently, ran the ball just better across the board, was gonna win the game. And the Browns yet were that team. The Browns ran it well, and the Niners did not run it well. But the Niners won the game because ultimately football, and we watched it all weekend, tons of games this weekend. I probably watched 12 games this weekend, college and pro. It's the team in football. You talk about blocking and tackling and this and that. But before blocking and tackling, it's really about who makes the least mistakes. And once you introduce weather, and now we're in that time of year, we're in December, where weather is absolutely a factor in almost all these games, except for all the outside games. It's who makes the fewest mistakes, who handles the ball better, who turns it over, who throws the pick, who fumbles the snap, who has all the penalties. I mean, if you look at the teams that lost this weekend that shouldn't have lost, the Rams, maybe the Eagles, some of these teams that were major upsets this weekend, a couple in the college game, you can almost across the board go look at the stat sheet and you'll see the Rams were -3 in turnovers, or another team had 14 penalties for over 100 yards. So it's really, when you get to December football, it's not just make a play. It's don't make negative plays and don't make mistakes. Browns made mistakes all day. I counted in my notes this morning before we came on, like 5 or 6 crucial mistakes, and the Niners capitalized on them. The Browns turned it over and made mistakes. The Niners turned it into 17 points, and that's how they won. And that may be their recipe for how they can win in the playoffs.
They got to get good on third down. They got to stay on the field offensively. They got to get off the field defensively. The Browns were terrible on third down. They were pretty much bad on all their downs in the game. And you're right. I mean, Shador, that fumbled snap exchange, the fumble on special teams. We mentioned it. I mean, the Jets beat this team by scoring 2 touchdowns on special teams in a game where Cleveland dominated on both sides of the ball. And once again, special teams we fear it as Niner fans. Oh my God, special teams. We're connected to it. It's all it really, we think negative thoughts if you even say special teams. But the Niners special teams are on the uptick. Absolutely.
And they're definitely getting better.
We will get to that in just a second. Larry, I think that this is maybe the first time this season, because nothing but flowers from Mac Jones. This guy did a hell of a job as the backup quarterback this year. Such a good job that we thought he gave Brock Purdy all the tarmac he needed to pull up back into the season and start flying again after the bye week. As supportive of Mac Jones as we've been, this is the game that Mac Jones, had he started instead of Brock, probably loses. Mac Jones would have been a sitting duck. Again, I do think it was a good day for the offensive line. Nick Wagner's statistics be damned. They keep on telling me pressures matter as much as sacks. Get the fuck out of here. One makes a play uncomfortable, the other ends a play. So it's much different. Pressures are important, but sacks are the real deal. And I thought that Brock was going to get sacked 4 or 5 times, 6 times maybe in the game. It was only once. He did a hell of a job avoiding trouble. He did a hell of a job scrambling to keep plays alive. He did a hell of a job throwing the ball away on the just give up on this play, live to fight another day situations. And I don't know if Mac Jones would have done that. This was, without any of his numbers being gaudy, an outstanding day of football for Brock Purdy. It really was. So good day for the Niners all around. And as you said, it felt like a complete team win. I don't know how many times we can say, yeah, all 3 phases, they were better than Cleveland in all 3 phases. You want to talk special teams? Let's do it. it's officially time to give Brant Boyer some flowers, right? It is.
Well, wait, wait a second, but let's go back to Mac Jones for a second. I don't think Mac Jones, Mac Jones wasn't on the ballot yesterday, so I'm not going to take a drive-by on Mac Jones and say he couldn't have done it.
I just think
it would have looked different. He would have been fine yesterday. It just would have looked different. I mean, Brock Purdy, I don't know if you saw this stat. Brock Purdy yesterday averaged 3.48 seconds per throw. That's a long time to hold the ball. So I'm pretty sure if Mac Jones had been in there, it just would have looked different. Like, I don't know that he makes that play to Kittle, let's say at the end of the second quarter. That I don't think he makes some of the mobility plays that Brock made at the goal line, for example. So I agree with you there. I just think though I do think Mac would have had success, and I do think he's good. I just think he would have gotten rid of it quicker, and it would have looked a little bit different. But yeah, Brock was spectacular. Brock's
survivability got them in and out of a lot of plays in that game. And I don't know if Mac has got that survivability with his feet. He's just not as mobile. We talk about the ability to wiggle. That is Brock's real difference between the two. Otherwise, kind of similar quarterbacks. And I thought that difference was on full display on a day.
Was Shador great yesterday?
Shador Sanders was not a great quarterback yesterday.
Okay, so then I would push back immediately because look at the numbers. I mean, look at the numbers across the board. Brock Purdy, 16 completions, 29 attempts. Shador, 16 completions, 25 attempts. He actually completed a higher percentage. Brock, 168 total yards. Shador, 149. Both threw a touchdown. Both didn't throw a pick. Brock got sacked once. Shador got sacked three times.
I thought what the
rating-wise, Shador had a 93.6 rating and Brock had an 83.7 rating. My point is just that when your team wins, the quarterback always gets a little bit more shine, and when your team loses, you don't get that shine.
Well, I don't think
really they were very comparable in what they actually did yesterday statistically.
I thought Shador Sanders, his best ability was the game plan that Stefanski installed for him. He had all sorts of can't go broke, taking a profit plays. The majority of his completions came on very easy to throw screen and swing passes. He was not really attacking down the field. And when he did, that's when he revealed how inaccurate he was. He was missing guys by 8-10 yards, overthrowing downfield.
He had a touchdown to Judy early. Now, Judy was literally in the clear by a good 2 yards, and he overthrew him by 2.5 yards. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying statistically they were very similar, but it's Brock Purdy, I thought, played very, very well in this game because his tendency is to want to make a play, and he avoided the negative plays. He had a couple audibles at the line of scrimmage. He took care of on a windy, there was, I wouldn't say wet because there wasn't snow or rain, but on a windy, cold day in a very tough place to play against one of the NFL's scarier defenses, Brock Purdy found a way to, get the Niners to a one-sided victory where somebody else was doing the kneel downs at the end. So mission accomplished. And the question, I guess, is this: did we get a blueprint? Like, is that a blueprint for the Niners to win in the playoffs? You don't turn it over. You play good football. You don't pile up tons of penalties. I mean, the numbers were very similar. The Niners had one less yard. The Browns had more total yards than the Niners, 253 to 252. But and the Niners, and once again, we said whoever runs it better. And yet the Browns ran it better, 138 to 91 yards, 4.5 a carry to 2.8 a carry. But where were the Niners a little bit better? Turnovers.
They were a lot better in that turnover department. And they were a lot better in the field position war that was in play all day long. And that has to do with special teams. Yeah. And we will give Brant Boyer some flowers there. But first, some things sometimes are just truly said, and you can't improve upon the way it's said. And Mill Ticket 707 right here says, you don't just score a touchdown and do the Dougie if you're not a great quarterback. Exactly. Love that. Love that. Thank you very, very much. Look, it is a bye week that they absolutely need because it's a bye week, Larry. I know you got big plans at Pig and a Pickle this week. We haven't said thank you to our sponsors who are a huge part of all of this, as is the audience. We thank all of you. Please lean in, hit that like button across both of our channels. It's going to make this show grow throughout YouTube. Speaking of channel growth, Larry, I'm happy to say the goal was to get to 50,000 by the bye week. And I don't know if we're going to get there, but we've officially got to 49,000. We crossed that threshold today. So thank you to everyone who's liking and subscribing over on Damon Bruce Plus. We say thank you to Ike's of Ike Sandwiches. I know every single person is sick and tired of leftover turkey sandwiches at this point in the Thanksgiving run. So get yourself to Ike's for a delicious sandwich. Get yourself to the Dubliner West Portal for a Guinness to wash it all down with. Larry will tell you more about Sleeper here in just a little bit, but we got ourselves a barbecue party up in Corte Madera coming here, Larry, for you and your channel this weekend.
Yeah, next Sunday, we'll have the Krug Show meet and greet at Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera. They've got 2 locations right now, a third on the way, but we'll be in Corte Madera next Sunday.
It's Sunday.
That's right, Sunday. This Sunday, December the 7th. Join us at Corte Madera. We've got some Krug Show merch to give away. We have an autographed mini Ricky Pearsall signed helmet to give away. Very, very cool. And we'll just, we'll give away some stuff. We'll eat some barbecue. We'll hang out. We'll watch some ball. We'll talk. If you want to bring your significant other, if they want to hang, great. If they want to go Christmas shopping, heck, there's a great mall right there. It's an outside mall, but it's a fantastic mall. So check it out. We'll be there throughout the day. It's kind of an open house, very informal. But last year we did it. We had like 50 or 60 people show up. So, hey, if we could get that many or more, that would be awesome. We will have a prize for whoever comes from the greatest distance. So thanks to Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera for hosting us. And we should tell you that that's next Sunday, December 7th. Also, 49er football season is presented all season long on the Krug Show by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper picks for fantasy. So use promo code Larry, Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Sleeper called me the other day and told me that our listeners are doing an amazing job. So thank you. The link's in the description. Terms and conditions apply. I think people are doing it because Sleeper is a great platform. It really is. If you're into that kind of thing, man, Sleeper is just absolutely the top of the top shelf. So
it is.
Thanks to
Larry,
Sleeper.
Freaking Kyle Shanahan ruined my sleeper parlay yesterday.
How so?
He didn't throw the ball one more time to Christian McCaffrey. I had the McCaffrey anytime touchdown. I had Kittle over 45.5 receiving yards. I had Shedeur Sanders under 27.5 passing attempts. I also had McCaffrey over 4.5 receptions. And there's McCaffrey in a game he shouldn't be in, running patterns to where he's wide open. Just one more dump off. Come on. It didn't happen. It's all right. It's all right. The fourth leg of my 4-leg parlays is killing me. And I tell myself, I'm not going to do that fourth leg every week. Then I see it. And then I get tempted. Damn it.
I had a premonition. You talk about gambling for just a second. Maybe nobody cares. But on Thanksgiving, I woke up and I had this premonition. I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at the slate and I'm like, I think Green Bay is going to beat Detroit. And I think Dallas has got a real good chance to put away Kansas City. And I think Joe Burrow coming back, I think he's going to beat Baltimore. And I like these underdogs here. And then I talked myself out of it. No. And then I watched as my first thought came through all day long. So I lose, I only made a couple bets on Thanksgiving, lost them both. Came back on Saturday with just the epic. I just said, you know what? I'm going big or I'm going home here. I got a multi-team parlay on Saturday. And I mean, I had it all. I had them all on Saturday. Listen to this parlay. I had Virginia over Vatech, winner. Oklahoma over LSU, winner. Bama over Auburn in the Iron Bowl, winner. Oh my God, what a game that was. The Illini over Northwestern in the snow, winner. Oregon over UW up in Seattle, winner. Your Indiana Hoosiers, you said to me, they're going for 50. We took them earlier in the week. So anyway, big winner on Saturday.
Would you have an 8-legger?
Yeah, I mean, it was like an 8-legger. Then I come back on Sunday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going money line parlay. I go Buccaneers over the Cards, winner. Niners over the Browns, winner. I was a little nervous, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go with it. Seahawks, winner. Chargers, winner. And if the Pats beat the Giants tonight in Foxborough, winner. My 100 turns into 250. So let's go. Big weekend this weekend for wagering. So that was a great weekend. And you know, when you lose on Thanksgiving and you're chasing the rest of the weekend, it can be ugly. I mean, I've had Thanksgiving weekends where I've bet on Thursday. Oh my God, I lost on Thanksgiving. But guess what? Here comes the Egg Bowl. Oh, but wait, on Friday, then I lost on A&M Texas. I mean, I lost on Thursday and Friday, and I'm sitting there going into the Saturday game going, maybe I should just sit out the weekend. I'm getting my ass kicked betting. Only to turn it all around with a major parlay Saturday and to get back in the win column with a huge parlay on Sunday. So, and I love the Pats, Larry.
Thank you. We're very proud of you.
My parents up there, they're very proud.
Very proud of you, Larry.
What a wager.
Look, you know, I got to tell you, you know, we've been critical of special teams for years, and rightfully so. It has been awful. It's been disappointing. And I think we were critical of Brant Boyer not making an instant splash, an instant return, but you sort of pull back now and you get out of the vacuum of weekly overreaction and you see the entire picture. And when you think about what they did, you know that Brant Boyer was under huge pressure to make that Jake Moody thing happen and work, right? There was no doubt about that. This is
but it wasn't his guy, so that was one. But that was his saving grace, right? It's like we're all in with Jake, and you know what he's saying to his wife at the kitchen table? Hey, honey, if it doesn't work, it ain't on me.
It ain't on me, but it's on me to fix that. It's really on me to fix that. That's why they want me here. So that's what I'm coming in to do. And then he sees, all right, that ain't happening. And you know what? They moved on. They moved on to Pinheiro, instant success. He then gets hurt. They're now on their third kicker. And Matt Gay, doink aside, went through, counts just as much as the ones that don't.
That was an unbelievable doink, by the way.
Doinked it in. It didn't look good, but it went through.
A loud noise.
It went through. And I'll tell you, when you look at what Sky Moore is now turning into, a career-long 66-yard punt return that is the longest Niner punt return since Ted Ginn brought one back about 70-ish yards in St. Louis back in 2010. I think that was the same game where, like, Reggie Bush tripped over like some torn up carpet in St. Louis and sued the St. Louis Dome or something like that. Anyways,
well, no, he ran off the sideline, and you know how they have the sideline all taped down.
Slipped.
Well, then there was about a 12-foot space, and it was just that polished concrete that you see underneath the turf at these big stadiums, and it's slick. And he's got there, you know, with his cleats on, he just slid right across it.
Look at it this way. I saw Reggie Bush in college. I saw Reggie Bush in the NFL. Him slipping on that surface was not why it didn't work out for him in the NFL. But, I think that those two things walked hand in hand. Either way.
Didn't he have the Kardashian curse?
This is Kardashian curse, absolutely.
I mean, it didn't help Lamar Odom. Larry. It wasn't great for Blake or Humphreys. What's the guy's Chris Humphreys or
Chris Humphreys? This is why you rent. You never buy a Kardashian. Okay, it's like an Airbnb. Special teams is vastly improved beyond Sky Moore and the kicker. Thomas Morstead is having a good year, not a bad year, that's for sure. I don't think it's a great year for him, but he's just having a year. Kick return, punt return, even getting better. Just the coverage, guys are staying in their lanes. This is a vastly improved special teams, especially over the last 6 weeks or so. Brant Boyer, let's give you some flowers, man. You'd certainly deserve them. We talk about what Niner coaches are doing their job, and Robert Saleh is obviously on top of the am I a good coach mountain right now for the 49ers. No one's ever going to want to publicly appreciate Kyle Shanahan for anything until he wins the Super Bowl. He is having his best year as a head coach right now. Kyle Shanahan, best season ever as a head coach right here, right now, in front of our eyes. We don't even want to talk about it. Brant Boyer's doing a hell of a job. This is a good coaching.
Well, I don't know if
through this screwed up season.
By the way, Matthew here says, smash the like button, people. You people. He's dropping a you people. Smash the like button, and that's always a good message. So I put that up there. But no, I think you're spot on. I mean, first of all, let's just say it, because I it's a cliche and it's not correct. Special teams is not a third of the game. Okay. And people will say that, there's there's special teams a third of the game. No, it isn't.
It's 40-40-20.
It's not even a quarter of the game.
It's 20% of the game. It's 40 on offense, 40 on defense, 20 on special teams.
I think it's even less if you really think about it, because look at the number of plays in a game and look how many special teams plays there are. You don't want to make mistakes, and it can bite you in the butt, and we've seen it. Niners have literally lost games. They lost a game to Seattle a couple of years ago, literally on special teams. So you can lose the game that way, and it's important to be good on special teams, but it's not a third of the game. Okay, it's not a third of the game. But the Niners have had bad special teams, and it goes beyond any one coach. They were terrible under Richard Hightower. They were terrible under Schneider. They were terrible for multiple coordinators, and they haven't been good since the Harbaugh years when they had Brad Seeley as the special teams coordinator and guys like Blake Costanzo, and they've been bad. I mean, that's a lot of years of bad. I mean, that was over a decade ago. Last time they were good on special teams, but Boyer came in, and man, he's got a presence about him. And I wasn't sure if it was going to work because it didn't seem like it worked right away. But what I love about Sky Moore is that he absolutely goes for it. And that's what you got to be. You got to be a little whacked. You got to be a little crazy up here to everybody's running full speed this way. And you're like, I'm going to run full speed into the teeth of that. And it's like, what? Yeah. But that's the gig. And if you have any fear, get off the field. And this guy doesn't. And I went up to him in his locker 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said to him, bro, you have no fear of getting blown up. And he looked at me and he laughed and he goes, but I do get blown up, don't I? And I said, yeah, you do sometimes get blown up. But you know what? I admire the hell out of the way you play that position, man. There's no fear. You're just all up the field, full bore, and guys are flying by you, and you're still going up the field super, super fast. And he's like, hey, man, it's the only way to do it. He's like, I didn't do this in college. People think, oh, well, he must have been great in college. No, this guy was a star receiver in Kalamazoo for Western Michigan. He was a star. He was not a special teamer. Somebody else did the special teams. But so he didn't have that experience. Then he came into the NFL as a second-round pick, and it quickly realized, hey, man, if I'm going to stay in this league, I better learn to be good on special teams. Now he's here, and, man, what great addition by Lynch. He had an 80-yard return in the preseason for Kansas City against the Arizona Cardinals in like one of the first preseason games of the year. The Cardinals cut him like 3 weeks. We're going to on the verge of cutting him like 3 weeks later. And give the Niners credit. Their scouts obviously kept track of what he did, and we're like, get him here. And he has been absolutely a revelation. Now, the funny thing is he keeps running out of gas. Like he ran out of gas again in this one. He ran out of gas in the last one. But, man, I'll take those. If you can get 50-plus yards in a return, man, I mean, I thought that I gave him my game ball on the postgame, Krug Show postgame last night, because, Damon, it's easy to say, oh, well, they won the game and there's all these other things. But if you go back in the moment where he was, the Niners came out, got the ball first. Rare Shanahan move, by the way. We haven't talked about that yet. He normally defers to the second half. He won the coin toss and took the ball. It's good. I thought that was really interesting. We're going to ask him about it this week, right?
Took the ball. He's paying attention. You don't start a football game by putting your worst foot forward. defensively has been the 49ers' worst step forward. So take the ball. I think in order for this team to have success, they've got to play under that Shanahan formula where they get an early lead, grow it a little, and then sit on it. Strangle a football game is what Kyle's really good at doing. And
but I like the fact that he mixed it up, because, I mean, it's like, okay, I get it. It's your philosophy. But there's got to be examples when you would go against your philosophy. And what you just said there is probably right, which is he's probably doing it because his offense is better than his defense, but he may also have been doing it because of the weather. Look at this guy. You were dumping on Sky Moore earlier this season. Stop with the cap.
Hey, look, things change.
When was I dumping on Sky Moore?
I think we were very upset with the way that Sky Moore was fielding punts. He was not making good judgment calls, fielding punts inside the 5-yard line. That criticism was warranted. It was merited. And obviously, it was coached out of him because Sky Moore is no longer doing the things that we were saying shouldn't do it like that at the beginning of the season.
Let me just say this. I'm putting out about 15 hours a week of live streams, KMBR shows, videos, probably 15 hours a week. This is a moving topic. Guys get better, guys get worse. Guys play well, guys play shitty. When guys play shitty, I'm going to tell you they played shitty. When guys play well, I'm going to tell you they played well. If you view that as me flip-flopping, then go away, because I'm going to flip-flop more and you're not going to like it. If you play shitty, I'm going to say you played shitty. I've been telling Ricky Pearsall he's been playing shitty because Ricky Pearsall's been playing shitty. Ricky Pearsall's not doing anything. When Ricky Pearsall starts playing really well and having 9 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, guess what? I'm going to say Ricky Pearsall's playing great. It's not going to take away my comments before when I said he was playing shitty. So it's a fluid, moving topic. If you want the same take over and over and over and over in a loop, why are we watching any of these games? We have one take in July. We have to stay with that take through December. I mean, come on. You're going to evolve. If your opinion doesn't evolve, you're not really true to the truth, because the game changes. The players change. Show me somebody who actually, most of these guys who do this don't have any conviction about anything, good or bad. They're literally swaying in the wind all the time, every day.
Here's what I do know.
Shanahan says it's good, it's good. Lynch says it's good, it's good. Lynch says it's bad, it's bad. Shanahan says it's bad, it's bad. I think independently. I tell you what I think. All right? There you go. But if you're going to lose your mind and be like, dude, you're this, you're that, and you're going to name calling character assassinations because I told you one opinion in July, and now here I am on December 1st saying, I'm enjoying what the guy's doing. Go away. I mean, I don't know what to say. You might want to go away.
Larry, the same people who are telling you that you are changing your mind are the same people that were saying, sell it all, trade it all, see what you can get for Kittle the minute that Fred Warner went down, and this season is trash emoji, and it's all over, and everyone was ready to
Damon, do you remember?
Hit a lifeboat. Everyone.
Do you remember the show that we did before the Ram game where people were like, the Niners ought to not send Trent, not send Kittle, not send any of their guys because they were going to get their asses kicked. Don't send any of these guys. They don't get it. Don't do it. Don't send any of these guys. Give this game away. That there were people that were hardcore Niner fans that wanted to take the Niners' best win of the year and no-show that and just lay down to the Rams. You know who you are. You guys said that. It was all over our chat. They shouldn't even send Trent. They should rest up for the next game. That was the message from a lot of you guys. And that was the biggest win of the year.
What is the one baseline that has been through every single show, starting about 4 weeks in, because no one knows what the NFL is going to look like in the first month of it? We're now 13 weeks in the books here, Larry. 13 weeks in the books, and there are 6 NFC teams that could all be the 1 seed, and the 49ers are one of them. Okay. I mean,
then they're not just one of them. I mean, let's talk about this for a second. They're not just one of them. They are the team in the NFC playoffs that has the best record in the entire conference of any of the other teams. The 49ers conference record, Damon, is unbelievable. The Niners, here's the conference record for the 49ers.
Look, Larry, I'll tell you this. There are 4 9-win teams. It's the 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, and Bears. There are 2 8-win teams, Eagles and Packers. There are 3 7-win teams. It's the Panthers, the Buccaneers, and the Lions. All of those every one of those teams could beat every one of those teams in the playoffs. I really believe that.
Who could beat who? You're saying anybody could beat anybody.
Every single team that I just said could beat any other team that I just said.
I agree. Absolutely. By the way, the Niners are 8-2 in the conference, 4-1 in the division, 8-2 in the conference. So Niners are sitting in a good spot at 9-4. They're not home, but they're in a good spot at 9-4. But I mean, you mentioned the NFC playoffs. Detroit might be the best team. They're not going to make the playoffs. If the season ended today, they're not making the playoffs. Now, Dallas is probably the hottest team. If the season ended today, they're not making the playoffs.
They're not in.
So, and there's a chance that both the Lions and the Cowboys miss out because, okay, if they don't miss out, name me the top 7 seeds. Who's not going to the playoffs? Bears, Rams, Eagles, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers. Those are the top 6, and then obviously the Niners at 7. If Detroit and Dallas get in, which 2 teams are out? Yeah.
I mean, it's
probably the Niners and the Packers. But
yeah. Things have not gone well probably for the hometown discount over here. But
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, so Dallas is rolling right now, but they're probably not going to make it. Detroit is a phenomenal football team, I think, top to bottom. But they got bad news this week. Frank Ragnow, who they wanted to bring out of retirement to play center, failed his physical, and so he will not be allowed to return to the Lions. So the Lions do not get the offensive line help that they need desperately, and they just got beat at home on Thanksgiving. And I think it's pretty obvious that Ben Johnson was the guy they should have kept, and they should have dumped Dan Campbell. But instead, they let Ben Johnson go to the Bears, and they kept Dan Campbell. And who's going to win a Super Bowl first, Ben Johnson or Dan Campbell? I'll take Ben Johnson.
Well, Ben Johnson is having a great year in Chicago. He's got a really good running game going right now. He's got Kyle Williams under wrap, and it's working. It's fitting together in ways that no one could have anticipated it coming together this fast.
Caleb, I think you're talking
about. Will say, yes. But Dan Campbell lost both of his coordinators, and I think has done a hell of a job in the circumstances he got left with. And, I mean, I'm not here to crap. Dan Campbell's a really good head coach. He's got a really good football team. I don't think he's a really good head coach. I really don't. I think he's a really good soundbite, and he's a good dude. But I think the key to I thought there were 2 keys to the Lions: Ben Johnson and Brad Holmes. And I think those are the 2 keys to the Lions. Like if I were trying to, let's say the Lions were a dynasty and they were on top in the NFL, I would have tried to get Ben Johnson. And I would have tried to get Brad Holmes. Well, I know that you want to do a hottest take on a Monday. We'll do that a little bit later. Yeah. But getting back to Niners and Browns just for a second, what also happened in this game, and maybe this is a lot of Shedeur Sanders and an ultimately underwhelming Browns offense, but the 49ers got their defensive mojo working in ways that I did not think was going to happen against a single opponent remaining this year, not even Tennessee. And Tennessee is about as bad as a professional football team can possibly be. We'll get into them in just a second. Do you realize yesterday, Cleveland never touched the red zone, didn't reach it once.
Wow.
The 49ers defense, if you didn't notice, pitched a second half shutout. I don't care who you are, who you're playing. That's the right halftime adjustments. That's coaching in the second half. And the Browns, to boot, got the ball to start the third quarter. So a second half shutout is even more impressive than it sounds. The 49ers also didn't allow a single 4th down conversion yesterday. And the Browns went for it a couple times on 4th down. So it was just a really stout day defensively. And I got to tell you, the same group that was very upset that the Niners did not do more specifically on deadline day or didn't make another move to bolster this defense. Let's talk about the two moves that they did make. Keion White had 3 tackles and a sack and has been popping up in football games for the past couple of weeks. And Clelin Ferrell better not be a healthy scratch again this season, because he is their best defensive lineman since they added him off the frickin' street. He had a career-high 9 tackles and 2 sacks yesterday. He's now got 4 on the season. Cleveland and Cleveland, Ohio, had a hell of a game. Cleveland, in another football uniform, is just a guy. He puts on a 49ers uniform, and he is the best version of himself as a professional in the NFL. How did they ever let that guy go? He's done a fantastic job. The 2 moves that officially left everyone going, at the deadline, both those guys had good games yesterday.
Well, nobody was anti. Everybody just said they needed to do more. I mean, nobody was saying, oh, Keion White sucks or Clelin Ferrell's garbage. Nobody was saying that. At least nobody informed. People were just saying, yeah, but you know what? You didn't do enough. And you could make an argument one way or another. I'll just say this, this is some really good, talented kids, CJ West, Alfred Collins.
Collins had a really good game yesterday.
I mean, West did as well. I thought West made a couple of really nice tackles in the run game. He was strong at the point. He's really strong. I mean, the thing about CJ West, he's very strong. But the rest of that group is like the land of misfit toys. It's cast-offs, baby. I mean, it's every one of those guys is like given up for dead. Bryce Huff, get the hell out of here. Jordan Elliott, bombed in Cleveland. Get him out of there. Sam Aquinu was a street free agent. Keion White, not playing at all in New England. And then, but then there's a couple other guys, a couple internal guys, late picks, 5th round, 2 day 3 picks are also playing well. Kalia Davis, 6th round pick in 2022. He's playing well. Robert Beal, man, Damon, if there's one thing, if I could bring you down the practice with me, the one thing that I've just watched for like the last 3 weeks is Chris Kasarik and his, assistant defensive line coaches pleading with Robert Beal, Rob, this, Rob, that, Rob, because they know he's 6'4", 260 with 4.4 speed. And he's got the physical ability. Nobody's been able to get it out of him. And they need it. I mean, they don't have anybody else. They got to get it out of him. They got to get every bit of talent he's got. And they're pleading with him at practice. And they're in his absolute face mask every snap. It's unbelievable. It's relentless. But we are seeing the positive impact of it in this game. Beal's last couple of weeks has been a factor. That's all he's got to do is just be a factor. So it's a cast-off D-line. But Keion White Keion White was a great pickup by Lynch. Why? Because he was usually the pickups are old guys who can't play, old guys who used to be good, or guys who are bad attitudes, or guys who don't play hard. Like, get them the hell out of this room as fast as possible. That's usually what's available at the deadline. Or you're going to pay a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, or maybe even higher if the guy's greater. Here was a guy in Keion White who was really fit in his physical prime, is not a bad guy. He just was not a outside linebacker in a 3-4, and he's not a 2-gapping defensive end or defensive tackle. So he's a up the field 1-gap penetrator. It literally was about scheme. And they wound up paying a nothing price, and they got a guy who wasn't hurt, wasn't old, didn't have a bad attitude, was just not a scheme fit in New England.
And is under contract next year.
He's a perfect scheme fit. He's absolutely the perfect scheme fit. I talked to him in his locker a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, dude, you went from a scheme that didn't really fit you to a scheme where, they're asking their outside linebackers to drop into 15 yards into coverage. He can't do that. And, man this hole and control both gaps. He's not really that. And they were asking him to do things he couldn't do. Now he's in a spot where he's got a really good scheme around him that fits his skill set, and he is going off. And as far as Cleve Farrell, dude, I saw Cleve Farrell when he was here last, and he was pretty good. Was really good against the run, not much against the pass. The first practice he had out there, I thought to myself, oh my God. Because I had located him on the Commanders practice squad or the Chargers practice squad like 3 or 4 weeks earlier, but I thought, he must be done.
How's he slipped through the cracks? How does a guy this good, this talented, this highly drafted have just been given up on?
I know. Well, it's weird because they put, Mike Mayock and the Raiders put too much faith in him and took him 4th overall when they should have gone in the 3rd round. But they loved him as a player, and he's always been a guy with a motor who's really knows how to play, and he's a smart player. So he always had that reputation. But I saw that first practice, and I thought we were going to see a guy who was kind of out of shape and played. I thought, well, it'll be interesting to see what Cleve's got. They start practicing, and this guy's working up a lather, but he was playing a million miles an hour and looked great from the first practice. So I'm happy for him, man. And I've talked to him a bunch of times. Some guys do it for the money. Some guys do it for the girls. Some guys do it for the glory. And then there are a few other guys who literally do care about winning. And that's why he's here, because he wants to win. Cleveland Farrell talks about winning all the time. He came here to win. And he hasn't won, and he wants to win.
Well, he won a national championship in college, didn't he? Was he on the Clemson team that won it all?
Believe so. I'm not sure exactly which year he was there because they won it at Levi's. Was he on that team or was he already in the league by that point? I don't remember. But he was a great player in the ACC, and he's given them a tremendous amount. So now the question is, do they have enough? Huff, Elliott, Kalia, Sam Aquinu getting healthy eventually. That's 4. Keon White, TJ West, Collins, Beal, Farrell. Do they have enough?
This is never what you would order off the menu, but it's what they got. And they have gotten more out of what they have remaining than I think most people assumed. I'm included. I'm included in that. I didn't think that they were going to have 5 sacks remaining in them for the remainder of the year. I thought that their pressure rate was going to drop to almost a near single-digit percentage, and it hasn't happened. And they deserve some credit for that. And that's Kasurik, and that is a whole bunch of guys who are just saying, "All right, everyone's underestimated us. We're going to just go ahead and be some dogs." And it's impressive.
A little Cody Ross. It reminds me of Cody Ross with the Giants. I mean, Cleve Farrell's got 4 sacks in 5 games.
Yeah.
He's like hot right now. So
he's their Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Well, how about this? I mean, Myles, the Browns got the same number of sacks on Purdy as the Niners got on Shador. I mean, it was very impressive.
The one-on-one battle between Trent Williams and Myles Garrett was a hell of a show yesterday. That was the game inside the game. And I think that was maybe Trent Williams' longest afternoon on a football field he has ever had since maybe he was like a kid, right? I mean, that's how often is Trent Williams the physical inferior to the player he's playing against? It's probably happened no more than 2 or 3 days in his career, and it happened on Sunday. Myles Garrett gave Trent Williams everything Trent wanted and more. I mean, just dusting him on a few plays, absolutely leaving him in his stance. He's so fast. He's so good. Myles Garrett is unbelievable. He is unbelievably good. And the Niners did a hell of a job shutting him down for the most part yesterday. They really did. He is one of these, there is no stopping, you can only hope to contain. And the Niners contained him. And Brock helped them contain him by running for his life and making the right decision over and over again. If the Niners had lost and we brought this up, people would be like, well, you guys are making excuses. The Niners won. I'm still going to bring it up. I thought the Niners should have reviewed a Kendrick Bourne catch on the sideline that Shanahan didn't asked for a review for, and I thought that the Browns got away with 2 triggering automatic safety plays on one play. I thought the face mask happened in the end zone, and I thought that Shador absolutely uncorked one for an intentional grounding.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the face mask penalty is half the distance to the goal, is it not? Even if it's in the end zone?
Even if I thought any penalty in the end zone is a safety.
I thought it was just a holding penalty or a grounding penalty in the end zone. I thought legal hands to the face. I don't know. I have to look that up. But as far as the Niners O-line against the Browns, Trent Williams gave up 4 pressures, 1 sack. Burford, 4 pressures. McKivitz, 3. Brendel, 2. Pooney, 2. Barch, 0. He played only 6.
Right. He had a foot injury and didn't return.
So, I mean, the 49er offensive line stood up. Bottom line is they stood up, and they did enough to win this game. And George Kittle, I thought, was spectacular. He was the highest graded 49er offensive player. I think D. Winters got the highest grade overall, but Purdy and Kittle, I mean, and Jennings, I mean, they got some money players there. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if the 49ers could find one great wide receiver, a Carnell Tate, somebody who's great, somebody who's actually a big time guy, not a cast off, not a scrub, not a bust, just a big time receiver. Man, between Kittle and Jennings and Juszczyk and CMC, I mean, they're one killer wide receiver away from being just an absolute awesome.
I'm old enough to remember when that guy's name was Brandon Ayuk, right? I mean, come on. This is what a disappointment.
Well, maybe he'll come back. I mean, I can't imagine he would, but
I can't imagine that's about to happen either. Somebody says they're going to sign Adam Thielen. Fine, do it. I mean, they need help. Look at it this way. This is the worst wide receiver group possibly in 49ers history. They collectively, all of them suck. Okay, they really do. Wide receivers were targeted 12 times in week 12, had 8 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. That's terrible. It got even worse this week. In week 13, wide receivers were targeted 11 times for 6 catches, 53 yards and a touchdown. Your wide receivers did the following. Jennings, 4 catches, 39 yards, a touchdown. Pearsall, 2 catches, 14 yards.
Not enough. That's not enough.
End list. That's it. That's all that happened. If it's not Kittle, if it's not McCaffrey, it's basically an incomplete pass with these turkeys out there. And by the way, Juwan Jennings, what did he say, right? What did he say that upset the Cleveland Browns so much? I mean, good God. Hey, here's the thing. If he can't take the lid off of anything, and he can't, the very least he can do is get under everyone's skin. And he apparently did that. So, Juwan,
I don't, this is a sport where guys get paralyzed. This is a sport where guys wind up in the hospital. This is a sport where you're one hit away from the end of your career. I don't give a flip what he said. I really don't care. Unless he got, over the top racial, which he didn't, then what are we talking about? I don't care what he said.
Again, there is no black on black racism. That can't happen.
I don't care. I don't care what he said. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter what anybody says, what somebody says. We have heinous things that people are doing every single day in this world. Enough of this crap I'm not losing my mind ever again about what this person said. Did you hear what this person said? Fuck you and what they said. I don't give a shit what they said. I really don't care. I'm so sick of this world that we live in where people do heinous shit to other people and get away with it every single day. I'm not going to lose my mind ever again over anybody for what they said. Screw you and what they said.
What I don't like again is
I don't care what he said.
I don't like passive aggressive defensive tackles. Like if he really said something that was that bad, what did he say? Don't tell me I don't want to say what he said because that would be too rude. No. What did he say? Or take your L and go home and don't talk about it. Come on.
I mean, seriously. I mean, don't sit there and what are you, some passive aggressive sorority bitch? Shut the fuck up. I mean, seriously, what the hell are you? You're just some defensive lineman? What is this, the fucking Alpha Phi house? Go away, you dipshit. I mean, seriously.
Most wonderful time.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sorry. But, I mean, take your sorority hen session crap elsewhere. This is football. I mean, seriously, what he said. That's pathetic. One topic we have to hit is that, who's really coming on, and it's really exciting to watch? The Niner safety duo of Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown.
Yeah.
Did you see the numbers on those two guys? I mean, the film told us they were great. Mustafa was targeted twice. He gave up a 56.3 passer rating when targeted. He had a forced incompletion. He had a PBU. He only allowed 4 yards in coverage. Mustafa. He had some of the biggest hits in the game. And then Jair Brown also was super active, targeted only once, gave up no yards allowed, 39.6 passer rating when targeted. The Niners safeties, this is where Robert Saleh, Gus Bradley, this is why you have these guys, because they're great coaches of defensive backfield play, especially Bradley.
Gus Bradley.
You have so many good young DBs. And maybe the most exciting thing that's been said in the last month by any 49er representative was Robert Saleh saying, you know what? I tell my young DBs, we're going to be playing our best ball in January. Oh, it's an awesome message because it suggests that, A, you're going to be playing meaningful football in January, which is the right confident message to send to your football team. But it also tells them, hey, guys, what's happened to this point ain't nearly as important as what happens from this point. And get better every day is the key to this season. So the fact that you've got Stout, Mustafa, Brown, Demo, the only guy that to me is not playing well is Renardo. If they could get Renardo going and get his coverage a little tighter, because he's getting ripped. But other than Renardo, the young DBs are coming on, man.
There's always some guy getting picked on. Like somebody has to be the conflict defender. And it's been identified as it's Renardo Green because you're getting very little picking on anyone else. Upton Stout now included in that group, right? I mean, he's playing terrific. Let me tell you, Larry, this is all about coaching. This is all about back-end communication. Nick Sorensen was awful at that. How many times was there a broken play in the secondary because of confusion? Last season, I'd say most of the problems in that secondary were because of confusion and not knowing where to go. And some guy pointing, you're supposed to be over here and I'm supposed to be over here. And it didn't. No one was where they were supposed to be. That's not happening this year. When they give up a play, they're still in position to make a play, even though they're giving it up. Where last year it was just dusted and see ya. So it's gotten a lot better. And if Robert Saleh has the type of season here where he is right back in that coaching mix, I think Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator in waiting already in-house. He's got the job if he wants it, if Saleh leaves, right?
Oh, he's great. He's great. Gus might be my favorite guy to talk to of all the people down there. He's got a vibe, dude. He's got a vibe about him that's really awesome. He's very positive. He's tough as hell. He's seen it all. And he's coached. This guy was the originator of the Legion of Boom. I mean, this is the guy who put together Sherman and Browner and Earl Thomas and who was the ridiculous Cam Chancellor, who had that ridiculous hit on Vernon Davis on the sideline up there. I mean, he was the coach that put together that foursome that led the Seahawks to a Super Bowl. He's a really good defensive backfield coach. And I asked him about a guy in camp. I said, hey, what do you think of Darrell Luter? And he had a big smile on his face. And I knew he liked him because I'm like, he's exactly what a guy like Gus Bradley wants in a corner. He's big, he's rangy, he's physically dominant. And he's like, oh, yeah. Love that kid, man. Oh, he's going to be good. He is going to be good. And it's like, a lot of people are like, he ain't going to make the team. And I'm like, dude, I talked to Gus Bradley a few days ago, and he was clearly super excited about the guy. Something tells me he is going to make the team. And sure enough, he made the team. And Luter got a nice fumble recovery yesterday on the muff punt. He's contributing on special teams, and he can contribute from scrimmage. So, Gus Bradley, Robert Saleh. The Niners are the Niners suddenly look. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know how it's going to end. But man, they've got a little bit of a magic vibe going. And, we've seen the Niners with better teams. We've seen this with other sports. Who's a team that had like a really good team and then they didn't win and then they won, a year or two later with not as good of a team? I feel like the Cardinals might have been like that in baseball.
How about the San Francisco Giants?
Giants lost in 2002 and they were great. And then they won in 10 and 12 and 14 and they weren't great necessarily. So, yeah, the Giants would be a good example. But in football, who's there? I feel like there was a couple teams there. Like the Niners. You could say that the Niners in 87 were one of the best teams in football. I think they were 15-1 or 14-2, and they were really, really dominant, and they got beat in the playoffs. They weren't very good in 80. That was 87. In 88, they went 10-6. They lost to the Raiders 9-3. They lost. They got destroyed by a couple teams. And they went on and won the Super Bowl. Why? Because they got hot at the end of the year and they ran the table. It could happen again, man. It could happen again. It's wide open in the NFC.
And I will say that the generosity of this schedule is about to become less generous. Okay, so how the Niners go about attacking the bye week is what you will learn this week. If I'm Shanahan, I'm almost giving the team the week off. I'll tell you, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Just go home. Just stop thinking about football for the next 4 days. Just everybody get on your couch, stay on your couch, relax. This team needs this bye week badly. So I'd give everyone the next handful of days off. If you're not at training table, if you're not in film session, just chill out and we'll start regrouping to beat the worst team maybe in the history of football. You should never just assume you're going to go out and beat another NFL team. The 49ers are going to beat the ever-living shit out of the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are god-awful. Just an awful football team. The Niners cannot lose to a team that is 1-11 with an NFL worst 158-point differential to the negative. They're god-awful at every level of their football team. The Niners have to win that game. And thank you very much, Houston Texans. Because of you, the Niners now do not have to become the first team to win in Indianapolis if they're going to go and beat the Colts.
Well, it's the way you play the day you play, and the Colts were looking really good early and not quite as good, late. Now the Niners got Seattle early, and Seattle wasn't looking as good early, but they look really good right now. They pitched a shutout yesterday. So it's when you get these teams. It's not just who you play, it's when you play them. So, yeah, it will be, it's going to be interesting down the stretch here. I'll say this. I like the Week 14 bye because every game is not like every other game. And I think the games in December are more physical. And I think the games in December are obviously sometimes can be really difficult because of the weather. And if you can take one game, the Niners – because they're 9-4 and they've got the bye, so they've got one less game to lose somebody to injury, and they've one more week to get to rest up and get better. So, realistically, the 49ers, because the late bye, should be able to maybe get a little bit better because they'll be more rested. They'll get a couple guys back, as opposed to, all the teams that they're going against, they're not going to get better. They're either going to stay the same or they're going to get worse or they're going to lose somebody. Having one fewer game is one fewer in December is one fewer game that you can lose somebody for the year.
Well, and look, hopefully Nick Martin comes out of concussion protocol and is ready to go. Hopefully Kyle Juszczyk's ribs are feeling a whole lot better 2 Sundays from now, and he'll be ready to go. This is, here's the thing. The late bye week, when you can finally get it depends on how your season's unfolding. I just think that this bye week even got well timed based on the way that the season is unfolded, and they're actually playing really good football right now. And you are right. This is the time of year where you got to spend another 20 minutes in the ice tub based on how physical that game was.
And it's freezing in these places, and you can lose games because of icy rain or weather or snow or whatever. So That's an advantage. I mean, it's a major advantage for the 49ers, I think, to play one less game coming down the stretch here than their opponents. So we'll see. We'll see.
And
what
how
it
about
looks like.
how about those Carolina Panthers? By the way, we're going to get into what our hot takes are. With your biggest hot take. This isn't my biggest hot take, but let me give you this.
Yeah.
The fact that Matthew Stafford got picked off a couple times and the Rams lose does not make what Brock Purdy did in that first half against Carolina better. It doesn't. Those were objectively awful throws. They remain objectively awful decisions with lollipop, nothing on them throws. Those still suck. We're not going to relitigate that. That was a bad half of football, period. I don't care what Matthew Stafford did in Carolina the following week. But the Panthers do have a pretty good secondary, all things considered. They make plays, and they did again. And thank you very much, Carolina. Glad Brock Purdy warmed you up to beat Matthew Stafford, because that helps the Niners an awful lot. We got 9-win teams.
Don't forget, too, that, and I've heard interviews where old quarterbacks have said this, where, hey, man, I felt good. I felt, Matthew Stafford didn't play training camp, right? He had back problems and this and that. I've heard a lot of older quarterbacks said, hey, man, I felt good, really good in November. And then we got to the second half of December, and I just had nothing left. And it's possible that Stafford, who's 38, who didn't have training camp and has looked miraculous this year, might have a little bit of a dip at the end of the year because of his age, because it is a long year.
Did you see the catch Puka made yesterday? Holy shit.
I think Puka wasn't even their leading receiver. I think wasn't their leading receiver yesterday. I forget who it was, but it wasn't Puka. I
don't know, but Puka made a catch for the year, and then what's his name in Washington made a hell of a catch last night. How about that game last night coming down to Jake Moody's leg and Deebo Samuel, and then they almost got it done. Mariota gets batted down on that 2-point conversion at the end of the game. I'll say this, Marcus Mariota, that guy can jump in the foxhole with me anytime. That guy is a battler. He really is. He's not a great quarterback, but he plays his dick off. Marcus Mariota does.
He's athletic, though. He's athletic. I think he's a good quarterback. I really like him. Xavier Smith, who led the Rams with 3 catches for 82 yards yesterday. Yeah, Stafford's turning the ball over. One thing I wanted to show here, because it's not a complete day without a Baldy, and Baldy has a great one here on Kittle.
Give me a Baldy breakdown.
Here's a Baldy breakdown on Kittle, and I thought this was the play of the game. Niners get the ball back, end of the first half. They're down 8-7. There's 30 seconds left. They easily could have just said, screw it, let's go to the locker room.
So Kyle Shanahan to just conservative himself into nothing right there. But
what was the factor here? The factor was that Shanahan at the beginning of the game took the ball. So if he's got the ball coming out of the half, he may just say, you know what, let's take a knee and we'll come out of the half with the ball. But instead, the Browns were coming out of the half with the ball, so we got aggressive. And this is what happened. Look at this dime to George Kittle. And here's Baldy on it. Wait, did I? Oh, I turned the volume down. Here we go.
The biggest pass play of the day for the 49ers went from Purdy to Kittle with 15 seconds to go in the half. Purdy beating Ronnie Hickman right there. Excellent concentration on the ball. Let's take one more look at this thing right here. Because honestly, 49ers are down 8-7 at this point. 8-7 with 15 seconds to go. And the biggest pass play of the day, 33 yards from Purdy to Kittle. Yes, that was a catch all the way. You watch the concentration of George Kittle. Led the 49ers in catches. Cradles that ball in there.
Yeah,
Hickman trying to rip it out. We got cameramen all over it right here on a lousy day in Cleveland. Big catch. 49ers go to Cleveland against a great defense and get the W.
You got to love Baldy. You got a cameraman right here.
Baldy's breakdowns are the closest thing we have to Madden. Like those just funny Maddenisms. Baldy is so good.
We gotta go because we got 20. Dude, when you and I get together on these Mondays, we get an absurd amount of supers to the point where I'm on KMBR at 1050. Let me double check that. I think did I say
By the way,
10:30?
way too many are coming in on your side as well, too. Let's sprinkle some supers over here on Damon Bruce Plus, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this one. Let me just double check this. Let me just double check my appointment so I'm not late for my deal here. What time? 10:50. Okay, we got a little bit of time. All right, it's 10:20. So we got 28 supers, including one for a C note. Look at
All
that
right.
there. Should we? You want to hit some supers here, Damon, or do you?
Let's do it, man.
Or why don't we do this? Let's go with the hot take that from Monday that you've noticed, because I'm watching ESPN right now and they're suggesting Mike Tomlin should be out. That the Steelers are bad. They're 6-6. Everything has a shelf life. I feel like this weekend we saw the end of Baltimore and Kansas City. I think Baltimore and Kansas City are both 6-6. They're both probably going to miss the playoffs. They're the premier teams in AFC the last few years. But I mean, that's ESPN's hot take, is that Pittsburgh should fire Mike Tomlin. I have a hot take or two, but go ahead. Do you have one that you want to throw out?
Yeah, I'll give you my one hot take based on everything I've seen, and some franchises get to live in a different information bubble than other franchises. That's clear. And the Minnesota Vikings need to be very happy that they live where they live, in a place where it's mostly ignored. Unless the Minnesota Vikings are having like a Dante Culpepper is about to win the MVP level season, not a lot of people pay attention. And it's good for them because the Minnesota Vikings have done more to screw up their own advantageous quarterbacking situation than most front offices will ever be allowed to do. They get rid of Kirk Cousins. Then they get rid of Sam Darnold to go to J.J. McCarthy, who cannot hit water falling out of a boat to the point where he is Jamarcus Russell level bad at it. They go to the other guy yesterday, and it looked like me. He looked like me playing quarterback. It was
what the rookie Max Brosmer.
Holy shit. Trey Lance is a Hall of Famer compared to this fucking guy. He was awful. The fact that this is where they went, that they drove there, that they specifically made a sequence of decisions to move away from all of those halfway good quarterbacks to get to this, is why Kevin O'Connell is not going to survive. I mean, like, he's a really good coach, but they have so screwed up. It's a really good thing that the Minnesota Vikings exist in a land where no one really pays attention to them, because they should be, what they have done to their own quarterbacking situation year over year. Remember, Sam Darnold is the first guy to ever play that well and not return with his team at the position of quarterback in NFL history. The Vikings are very happy to live in a world where no one gives a shit about them, because if they did, they'd be the lead story on First Take.
They are literally, by the way, the Vikings, Adam Thielen requested and was granted his release, so he is out there. They are one Justin Jefferson, I want out of here, away from a major controversy. I mean,
mutiny.
Kevin O'Connell is a good young coach, probably one of the best in football, and yet they had Sam Darnold, said no, and went with J.J. McCarthy. Oh my God! I mean, this is you've watched multiple quarterbacks go from Minnesota and go elsewhere and play well, and you've got J.J. McCarthy. I mean, that's as soon as Justin Jefferson says, you know what, I'm freaking tired of J.J. McCarthy. I'm freaking tired of being on a team with no quarterback. All of a sudden, it's like the heat is going to be dialed up on Kevin O'Connell.
Not only did you say goodbye to all the wrong guys, but the guy that you said goodbye for is objectively the worst quarterback since Jaminkus. Oh,
he's bad. He's bad. Well, he's not NFL. And this is a message to everybody. Don't draft guys who are one-year wonders at the quarterback position. Mitchell Trubisky, one-year wonder. And how does he play? Guys can be hot for 1 year. You got to see multiple years before you're going to draft somebody. My hot take is that, man, and I really love this guy. But even though the Niners let him go, I still think it was the right move. But he's now kicking ass in Denver. Talanoa Hufanga. Oh, my God. 13 tackles last night, 10 of them solo, 2 tackles for loss. He got a PBU. I mean, he is just an awesome player. He's a great dude.
When healthy, he can play.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I understood why the Niners moved on. They had other guys. He wanted a lot of money. But, man, that one hurts because this guy's, you know, we're talking about a guy who the Niners drafted. He's 25. He's in the super prime of his career, and he's in Denver. You know, I mean, it's like, why? Why? But, I mean, I get it because they had other guys, but, I mean, it's still frustrating as hell. The other hot take is that the Bears are coming, man. The Bears are coming. The Bears are playing great football, and watch out for the Bears. It just seems like the city of Chicago, you know, they're so infrequently good that it just feels like there's momentum coming out of that city for this franchise. Now, Caleb is still just pretty average, in my opinion, but Monangi and DeAndre Swift, they ran 47 times for 281 yards, 6 yards a pop against the Eagles in Philly. It's
the running game that the Lions enjoyed last year. And by the way, you know who's kind of in the center of all of it? Drew Dolman, the guy I said the Niners should have signed. Drew Dolman, kicking centers, kicking defensive tackles' asses every week. Drew Dolman, better than Brendel. Drew Dolman should have signed him. Damon knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but it was $26 million or some ridiculous amount of money. So it's a lot of money, too.
That's the starting ticket for really good players in football. That's just everyone is at $20 million if you're good at it.
Yeah. They obviously didn't feel like they could afford him. But either way, I mean, obviously he would have helped. But then they got good backs. I mean, I was jumping up and down in the draft process for Kyle Monangi only to watch the Niners draft Jordan James in the 5th round. So it's like, you know, it's sometimes it's tough. All right, let's hit some supers.
Wait a minute, real quick. Wait, so Jacob is saying a lot of people wanted Dolman. You aren't special. Wrong. I'm very special. Very special.
Here we go. Here we go. Larry Martin, complimentary football. Love this squad we got. Yeah, I mean, just, you know what? Trent Williams was asked about it in the locker room, and he's like, yeah, man, we got to protect our defense. And I don't know if I'd give Kyle Shanahan the coach of the year, but I do agree with Damon's assertion that this is the best he's ever done. This is his best coaching effort for sure. I think I would still give it to Ben Johnson or Vrabel. But, man, Shanahan this year, unbelievable. King Linner. Big win yesterday, and thanks to upcoming matchups this week, the lowest seed the 49ers will be after the bye week is the 6th seed. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't know that. We got this one from Larry Martin. If you watch the game, stats tell a different story than what was on display. Brock looked way better than Sanders. Sanders wasn't bad, though. Yeah, no, totally. No, I mean, I'm just saying that their stat line is very similar, but they surely went about it in a different fashion.
I thought that Cleveland had the perfect game plan in for Shedeur Sanders. I mean, they just keep it simple. You know, put the quarterback in advantageous situations, build a little confidence, easy completions. I thought they had a really, really good game plan. Niners were just better.
Fuji Simeon in the house. He says, congrats on SI beating SH on to the next round. We are SI. Go Cats. Get them Cats. Go get them Cats. Fuji says, congrats on IU. Undefeated season, Damon. Big Ten next.
Hey, you know.
They got Ohio State.
If
Big Ten title game.
If Indiana has ever had a shot to beat Ohio State, this is going to beat it. If we don't, this will probably never beat Ohio State. But it's amazing. Indiana's in the Big Ten title game. Holy shit.
They do have a good chance.
Is the greatest coach in the history of football. Lombardi, Saban, Belichick, they all are behind Signetti. Greatest coach.
Signetti get a run in the NFL. As a head coach.
No.
Fuji says, congrats. Okay, we got that one.
By the way, they should come in on my side, Fuji. You paid Larry $2 to tell me congratulations. Thanks.
Claudaddy Vending.
Hey.
What's up, Claudaddy? He says, LK in the Plus. Morning, fellas. Crazy stat from LK last night. 49ers #1 in the division, conference, and road wins. I wouldn't want to play us right now. Yeah. Niners have more wins in the division, more wins in the conference, and more road wins than any team in football. And by the way, check out Claudaddy Arcades, great sponsor of the Krug Show. He's a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. Check a location near you. He's in Capitola Mall. He's in Visalia Mall. He's got that arcade empire exploding. And Claudaddy, we're thinking we're going to travel in the playoffs. We'll have to connect on that one. Maybe we can meet up.
By the way, I just got to jump in here, Larry. I just got to jump in here. This is the stupidest person in the world. Tiger Tanko 6. First of all, it's Signetti with a C. She's so great that he lost to Notre Dame last year. Yes,
Notre Dame was
Indiana
great.
lost to Notre Dame in South Bend. Notre Dame then went on to the national championship game. Indiana lost 2 games last year to 2 teams that played in the national championship game. This year, he decided to come back and lose to nobody all year long. If that's not good enough for you, you must fuck off and never talk football again. You just don't know what you're talking about. Good God, people are just
Damon.
so
if you could do me a favor and just watch that language. I don't know if I like that language.
Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm sorry.
Fuji Simeon next year at a 49er game in Mexico City or the UK next season. Oh man, I would love to go to the UK.
I'm saying I want to go to Mexico City, man. Let's go get some tacos. Let's save ourselves like a 12 hour.
I wouldn't mind going to Germany or someplace. I don't know if you saw that field in Brazil or whatever they play when the Eagles played there. That's an amazing spot. But yeah, and an
field in Spain.
International game would be awesome.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
The next time the Niners are going international, we're going.
Oh, it'd be awesome. PWS West Coast, big game this Saturday. If you know, you know.
That's right. Go Hoosiers.
We got this one. What's the spread in that, by the way?
I think it's 5.5.
Buckeyes by 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
Indianapolis.
Oh, it's the neutral site. That's right. Ivan says 49ers should bench Brock and CMC against the Titans. Shrewd. Smart move. Always thinking ahead. Jose Ernberg.
Jose
Ernberg. Oh, no, Jose Fumberg. Jose Fumberg or Joseph Ernberg. If Robert leaves, should we poach Jim Schwartz? Oh, man, I don't know if Shanahan could get along with Schwartz. Schwartz seems like a difficult guy to get along with. Ramon says, good morning, all. If we win out and Seattle beats L.A., don't we win the NFC West? If we win the tiebreaker versus the Rams, yes. Heck, the number 1 seed may be in play. The Niners could theoretically play the Bears for the number 1 seed.
Yes.
Theoretically. It could happen. A lot of things have to happen, but that could happen. Famous 5857 says, hey, here I am.
Just gone to jar. Thank you.
There you go. Joseph Ernberg, how about those Bears, Damon? Bear down, F Philly.
Jose Funderburg, thank you.
Was there the Niner games are always super enjoyable, but was there anything more enjoyable than watching the Bears run through the Eagles?
Larry, that is the best win since Rex Grossman and Lovie Smith were doing things together. That is the best win the Chicago Bears have had in almost 15 years. It was that.
It's the kind of win that makes you want to take off your shirt and sing songs in the locker room.
See that? By the way, Ben Johnson, he absolutely earned a little house credit right there.
That was pretty sweet, by the way. When Ben Johnson's up there doing his thing, I mean, come on. I mean, that's, what do you think? Should I ask Shanahan about that? Should I say,
you want to have a flex off? You want to have a flex off? Ben Johnson looks like he takes good care of himself for a guy living in a town full of, pizza that's the size of a loaf of bread.
All right,
Chicago's a great city to put on 15 pounds in quickly.
Yes, it is. It's a hearty eating town. Hold on. Wait, before we get to this one, we have to do this.
Hold on. Oh, what do you got?
Here we go.
Are you going to show me a half naked man? Oh boy.
The Bears got some momentum going, folks. Look at this. Bears Niners is going to be epic.
Big one.
That is going to be an all-timer. I cannot wait. Dale says, don't let him.
The Bears are very, very comfortable at Levi Stadium. First regular season win in the history of Levi Stadium belongs to the Chicago Bears.
What? Didn't the first win ever at Levi's?
First
I thought
regular season game ever was the Bears winning at Levi.
And the Bears won?
I think so.
I thought that was the Kaepernick. I thought Kaepernick beat the Bears in his first start, but maybe you're right. You remember
Kaepernick that was in Chicago, though. No. And then Kaepernick played the worst game of his life in Chicago, and that's when everyone started giving up on him.
Dale says, don't let them always get to you, Larry. You're giving them what they want, and they aren't paying for it. Here's a $5. Thank you, Dale. Sometimes it feels good to yell and scream. Joseph Ernberg says, KC, Philly, and LA lose. Great week of hate watching.
Absolutely. Out-of-town scoreboard was friendly to you.
Oh, man, it was a fun weekend. Mark Gravy Graves. What's up, Graves? Out in Arizona. He said, receipt keepers on this chat need to get a life. Thank you, Graves. Appreciate you, bro. Famous K just says, hey, 99 cents coming your way.
Sprinkle.
Herbie Holland drops a C note. What? A man must admit when he is wrong. Larry, I said at the beginning of the season, 49ers would go 4-13. You told me I was wrong. Well, Larry, I apologize. I was wrong. I'd given up on this team, and they have surprised me with the coaching and the injuries.
I'm pretty sure
$100 from Herbie Holland.
Pretty sure I was on that show too. Where's my 100?
Woo-wee.
You know what,
for Herbie Holland.
Herbie, it's one thing to fess up and own up to it, and I appreciate that. Not a lot of guys remember it was going to go wrong predictions when things are going right. So thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Herbie. Thank you very much. To Guns, you think Shelby Harris will be sending Christmas cards to Jennings? Something tells me they will not be doing autograph shows together. Could you imagine if next week
exchange?
Could you imagine next week they're sitting like at a table signing items next to each other? That would be so on brand. Herbie Holland drops a 20 spot. Like the 100 wasn't enough. He says, what a dope I was about this team. LOL. What a dope I was about this team. I was glad I was, because no matter what they do the rest of the year, I'm impressed. They should have gone into the tank and they haven't. Yeah, that's a good one right there. We got this one from PWS. Thoughts on NFL players having beef with Juwan Jennings? I already spoke that out pretty clearly. Greg Garjesi says D is getting better every week.
Thank you.
Misfit Toys, the island of misfit toys. Robert Sala. In fact, that Santa Coming to Town was on last night. As I was putting together my notes for one of my video, I had it on in the background. I don't want to make toys. I want to be a dentist. Do you remember did you watch Santa Claus Coming to Town? More importantly, have Jack and Ozzy taken in Burl Ives and Santa Claus Coming to Town?
Why
actually, Burl Ives is
such a misfit?
Burl Ives might have been tied to the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, actually, but
that was it.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was just yes, Yukon Cornelius, Rudolph, all of yes.
Yes. Put one foot in front of the other. Soon we'll be walking across the floor all right. We got this one from the Kevin Wood. What are some past Super Bowl teams with major flaws 49ers can look to? 2011 Giants were the 27th ranked defense that year. Maybe 08 Cardinals with Warner. I would say the team that the Giants had that beat the Niners in the NFC Championship game in 13 with Alex Smith.
Which Packers team? I can't remember if it was Favre's or Rodgers. Showed up in the Super Bowl with like 23 guys on IR.
Rodgers.
Okay.
That was the Rodgers Super Bowl. So that's one. But I think of the New York Giants because they were not the best team that year. The Tom Brady-led Patriots were the best team. And they beat the Patriots in the playoffs. And that was the David Tyree, Mario Manningham, that Giant team. And I thought they had a great, tough, rugged offensive line and a really good defensive line, and that's how they won. So we'll see. It's as far as the best team, the worst team to ever win the Super Bowl. That's a good one. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Laser Lax. Krug, love this energy. Thank you, sir. Dr. Mad Hatton says Miles tried to knock someone out with his helmet.
That was a couple of years ago. Miles Garrett lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Against that terrible Oak State quarterback for the Steelers. What's his name? The backup? Mason Rudolph. Didn't he swing his helmet? Yeah, he swung his helmet at Mason Rudolph. We got this one from Eric Pierce. Sala, Mack, Bourne, Brian Robinson, Farrell, White, whoever was running the show has done a good job. Lynch, Kyle. Absolutely, those are good moves there across the board. No doubt. And I think you got to give Lynch his there. Tiger Tank 06. Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame is projected to go 3rd overall in the draft. 49ers should try to trade up for him. Trade up for him in the draft to replace a hobbled CMC.
No. Anytime Kyle reaches for a running back, that guy doesn't even make his season debut before week 19. So forget it.
Yeah.
I don't want the 49ers drafting running backs or wide receivers. They don't know what they're doing. Sign free agents that you like at that position. Go draft offensive linemen and defensive linemen and play bully football up front. That's the Niner way. I don't trust him.
And also, I like Jeremiah Love. Don't get me wrong. I think he's really good, but I wouldn't take him in the top 5. I wouldn't take him in the first round. The guy that I kind of like that's caught my eye is go check out Jam Miller for Bama. He's 220 pounds. He's fast. He's really, really intriguing. There's a bunch of good backs, though. Bunch of good backs out there.
If they don't go offensive line in the first round, they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if they have to go in the first round, but definitely in the first couple rounds. McFadden says, went to my first Niner game in Cleveland when I was 15. A grown man with a strap on threw a beer bottle at me and called me a 69er. 20 years later, justice. There you go. Hey, at least you forgot about it. That is, what things that happen to you when you're a teenager, though, do kind of stick with you. Guy threw a beer bottle at you and called you a 69er. Hopefully you got arrested. Excessive says the parity in this league is crazy. The number 1 seeded Bears and the number 7 seeded 49ers both have 9 wins. I know.
Well, again, it's just, the fact the NFC West is relentless. You got 3 9-win teams in this division.
It's crazy. Golden Gate Sports Podcast says, hi, Krug. I'm a huge fan of you guys and would love tips to being a sports journalist. My dream is to cover the 49ers. Can you shout out my channel?
Shout it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Golden Gate Sports Podcast. Everybody check out Golden Gate Sports Podcast. As far as tips to being a sports journalist, go ahead, Damon. Do you have a tip that you want to throw out?
Yeah, pick another vocation in life. Make it rewarding. Yeah,
no, I would say
here's the thing. The rules of you breaking into the game are so much different than the rules that Larry and I had to break into the game with. You've already broken into the game. You have your own channel. You have the ability to start growing your own brand and product now. Larry and I never had that. If you didn't work for a radio station, you didn't even have the means to record a demo tape to send out. You live in a world where all you want is right there to be accessed at your own fingertips. Talent stands out. So just keep cranking it out, man. Keep cranking it out. There's, you've already begun. Congratulations. Keep going.
Yeah, I would say, think about a strategy. The Niners don't just show up in Cleveland. They have a strategy. They had a game plan. They watched film. They had a plan. You should have a plan. Have a plan. Maybe it's a short-term plan. Maybe it's a goal, but have a goal, have a plan.
Right.
And then go out there and enact it. And as what Damon said is totally true. You can wait around for someone to hand you some official certificate that says you're official, or you can just state your presence and be great and just kind of take the thing by storm. So there's 2 ways to go about it. And I would, if I were a college student right now, I would simply look at this thing right here, the modern cell phone. This is a traveling studio. You can take this anywhere. The mic quality on the latest ones are so good and the camera is so good that you could really film a movie off of a cell phone. So this is all you need. and get a gimbal, which balances it out so it doesn't flip around a lot. And then go interview people. Go anytime you see somebody famous, go interview them. Ask, and then if you have people that are doing jobs that you want to do, ask them if you can do an informational interview with them and tape it. And like interview a guy like Damon and ask him what his process was and ask him how he got from job 1 to job 2 to job 3 and how things went on the internet, all these questions. And then what you'll do is after you do a bunch of informational interviews, the people that you ask, you're just going to say, hey, they're going to be flattered that you're asking, and then just be consistent. There's a lot of people that were as good or better than us, but they didn't make it. And they didn't make it because they either had an alcohol problem or a drug problem, or they couldn't show up on time, or they were somebody on Monday they're high and Tuesday they're down and Wednesday they're high and Thursday. You got to be a little bit more even keel. But I would say go for it, man. Go for it if it's your dream. I mean, look at it this way. I always compare things to the high school dance. Anytime I'm talking about motivation for myself, I always think of that high school dance. What do you see at a high school dance? You got a bunch of girls and boys who all want to dance, and yet there's 5 or 6 of them that are dancing, and the rest of them are standing on the wall wishing that somebody would ask them to dance, or wishing that they would have the courage to ask somebody else to dance. If you only have one freaking life, there's no proven second life, okay? You got, at best, if the life is kind to you, you maybe have 75, 80 years on the planet. You only have one bite of the apple. Make it count.
This is not a dress rehearsal.
Right.
Do it.
Right.
And the single best piece of advice my grandmother ever gave me, and it's the reason why Jillian is my wife. It really is.
Shoot your shot.
My grandmother told me the prettiest girl in the room might be the loneliest. Never hesitate to walk up and talk to the prettiest girl in the room. My grandmother told me that when I was like 12 years old.
Great advice.
Stayed with me my entire life. That stayed with me. And it's the best advice I ever got. And it's why I've always dated way above my weight class.
Oh, same here. Bottom line is, I was looking at like the high school dance, though. If you want to dance, you got to have the nerve to get your ass off that wall and go up to a girl and say, hey, my name's blankety blank. Would you like to dance? All right. If you want the job of your dreams, you got to apply for the job of your dreams. Nobody's going to break into your house and give you the job of your dreams. Doesn't happen. You're going to have to go after it. Damon went after it. I went after it. People who got ahead went after it. Go after it. Use that high school dance mentality. If you want a job, you're going to have to get your butt off that wall and go ask that person if they want to dance. Simple as that. And if they want to dance, guess what? And Damon's totally right. Don't think that you can't because you don't, you got to have that internal belief. The other thing is a little bit of cockiness and a little bit of swagger in a radio field is a good thing. So you go up to a radio program director or TV news director or whatever. They say, can you do it? You say, damn right I can do it. I can do it better than anybody else doing it. And, the old saying, fake it till you make it. You got to have that confidence in yourself because when the mic's on, you got to have the confidence to fire. Most people, they get in front of the mic and they're, I better not. I don't know if I want to say that. No. Go for it. Go for it. If you want to dance, go ask somebody to dance. If you want a job, go ask for that job. You're as good as anybody else. Believe in yourself. That's what I would say. Stefan says, where would you look to add most in the offseason?
We do no offseason talk. What are we kidding? Can we get through the offseason talk?
O-line.
Then the greatest.
Well, it's okay for a question. O-line, D-line, wide receiver, a pass rusher. That's right there. Gringo says, hey, $1.99, I'm in the house. Monty Lou, 1994. See you in Corte Madera, Larry. Let's have an eating contest. An eating contest?
You don't want to go ahead and have everyone just sleeping at your event, Larry. That's barbecue. You have an eating contest with barbecue. You're going to need some cots.
Yeah, I'd probably yak as well. John Brown says, did Kyle, and by the way, Money, we will see you there. John Brown says, did Kyle take ball first or defer so he can pick the wind direction advantage in the fourth? I think it was probably wind related, but I think it was also that there was snow or sleet or rain in the forecast later in the day. And I think he might have done it for that reason. But I'm going to ask that question. Why did you, do what you've never done, which is, instead of deferring, you took the ball? Why? We got this one from Gringo. Purdy was playing against the number one defense in the league. Sanders was playing against the 49ers, regardless if their stats were similar, night and day difference. No, I know. No, it was my example of trying to point out, not that they were the same, that the stats sometimes don't tell the whole story. Barry Ford Memphis says, bang, bang from Memphis, just dropping. Day after love for the Jar. Now they get much needed rest to come out of the bye and finish strong.
Thank you, Barry.
Love it. Love it. We got this one from Oscar.
Just going in the jar.
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 I love it. Just very to the point. Ouch, my hamstring. I hope people are coming at Stafford with the same energy that they came at Purdy with. Yeah, right. After the 2 interceptions and 3 attempts against the same defense, one of those being a pick six. Yeah.
Again, Stafford won his Super Bowl and evades criticism. Purdy walked off the field with a win. They lose, and he is the guy that everyone likes to shit on for very, very little reason. It's nuts.
Barry Ford says, to Golden Gate Sports Podcast, go for it.
Yes. Good advice. Good advice.
Good advice. That's going to do it for us. It is 10:50 and I got to go. In fact, I got to go right now because I'm supposed to be there right now. So I will see you guys soon.
Watching. Like and subscribe. We'll be back on Friday. Bye-week broadcast. Enjoy, everyone.
Yeah, we didn't get to mention Habas Law, but thanks to them. Thanks to all of you. Have a great one. Peace.